What are you doing right now?
The big V. Look, man.
All right, man. Let's just jump right into this shit. So,
I made my wife wake up and drive me there anyway.
you...
It's a major.
Pasar con eso. Pasar con español.
¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás? Any questions?
Now, when you bought that sweater, right? You just go, fuck it. I'm going full Mr. Rogers. You've tuned into the Man Chatter Podcast. Hey, man. So, I mean, obviously, we could talk about a bunch of different shit, but let's just get started. We actually haven't talked. We've done well with this. We actually haven't spoken since the fight, right? So, let's go. Let's start from worst to best, right? Because we're gonna spend the most time on the best fight of the night, right? Let's be honest. Now, what did you think? What was your true opinion about the Yoel Romero Israel Adesanya fight? Right, because I haven't listened to before you go ahead. I haven't listened to anybody else's take. I haven't looked at any like hot take reviews on Twitter, or I usually check out Luke Thomas's channel because he does a recap right after the fight. I stayed away from that. So what did you think?
I mean, the dude was doing some dance moves I hadn't seen before. Look, I will tell you this. As soon as the fight was over, the commentators, Cormier and Rogan, they were trying to make excuses for... I think, and maybe I'm biased, right? But I saw the fight a second time. I downloaded it and I saw it to see, because I am biased. I wanted Romero to win. And I had him winning that first round because they threw like 8 punches and Romero landed the one that kind of...
The two,
but it rocked them. I think that first round they were all they didn't do anything. They were trying to feel each other out. Romero was going down on a knee, doing some 42 blocks and shit or whatever he was doing with his hands. And Izzy came in and he got popped in the face and he backed right the fuck up, and he didn't want to do anything after that. Like, he came in, he felt that power, and I know at the end of the fight he said, "Oh, he only got me one time," and he didn't do anything. You look at his face, right? You got a plan and everything. You do everything according to plan until you get hit in the mouth, right? And I'll tell you this. Neither one of them did anything. But, and Romero as a challenger, I think it's incumbent on him to go out and look for the fight, especially if the champion doesn't want to fight you. But there were a couple times where he went for a takedown. He took him down maybe for a second or two, and Izzy got right back up. But then as he had him up, but as
against an Olympian,
against
an Olympic
him
wrestler
up against the cage. Yeah, you're right. Against an Olympic wrestler, he was able to get right back up. You know, but he had him up against the cage when he would get up, and Romero would give him 3-4 shots to the kidneys and to the head, and Izzy would just find a way to run away and get away from him, and he would not. He wouldn't. He wasn't engaging. And that happened 2 or 3 times, because remember, that's all that really happened, where he went for like 2 takedowns, maybe 3, but I think it was only 2. And both times he brought him down, he got right back up, but as he was getting up, Yoel got him like 3 or 4 times in the kidneys, and Izzy was just not trying to engage. So I can understand, like, and that was it. Nothing else happened. And then the rest of the fight, he was staying on the outside, kicking the hell out of Romero's legs, which is fine. He won the fight because, you know, if we're gonna look at how they grade Olympic style boxing on points, that's fine. But all this talk about Romero not engaging and not wanting to fight, and you do this, I mean, the dude tried a couple of times, and Adesanya wasn't having any of it. He wasn't trying to do anything, and then the couple of times that he did try to come in, he got caught. Romero caught him. And all he wanted to do is just stay on the outside and kick that leg. And you know, he said he's a smooth talker. He's like, well, we had a game plan. Yoel, all he does is play these games, and all he wants to do is kind of lull for 3 minutes and attack.
It's true.
And
it's true.
He's right. But I don't know if he wasn't doing a damn thing. And the couple times that he went in to try to engage with Romero caught him clean, and Izzy wanted nothing to do with it. So I think at the end of at first, when I saw the fight live, I was like, I had Romero winning, or I had it as a draw. I was like, but don't give it to Izzy because of those leg kicks, because they were constant for 3 rounds. And then I saw
It was the only constant
Was
thing in the
that?
whole fight. It was the only constant thing in the whole fight
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
leg kicks.
The only constant thing. I mean, I think Romero won the fifth round, and he probably won the first, and then maybe Adesanya won the middle rounds. But I mean, because it's so tough, there was no volume. The amount of volume that they threw in their entire fight,
Right.
you know, Joanna and Zhang Wei Li threw in like the first 30 seconds of their fight.
Yeah, no. So I watched the fight, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it was a great fight. It was a barn burner because it wasn't. Right. It was an incredibly
It's hard to watch. Yeah.
hard fight to watch. It was very hard to watch. I tried very hard to stay. Like I was like moving. I was watching it in bed. I was like moving around. I was like, God damn, this is a boring fight. Wife was watching it with me. She's like, this she's like bitching. She's like, this fight is fucking terrible. I was like, yeah, I know. And because I tried to wake, she fell asleep. I tried to wake her up for the greatest women's fight ever, and she was just not whatever. So I had it. I had Israel Adesanya 4 rounds to 1. Right, like it wasn't close to, in my opinion, like because you think about it, Romero in 25 minutes maybe had 30 to 45 seconds of action, right? Like those two takedowns and those two punches. That was it. That's all he like. First of all, it set off a terrible tone for me immediately when Romero just stood there.
Yeah.
I was like this, like, you know what I mean? Like this is your third chance at a title, right? This is your third chance at a title, and this is how you come out. Like you got just like how we always talk about, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. You can't go in there with like little moments of where you could have, you know what I mean?
Right.
You got to go after it. Like you have nothing to lose, bro. This is your third chance. You're 42 years old. You're probably never getting another
Not
title
like
shot
that,
after this,
not-
right? Especially after a
Right.
performance like that, right? Where Dana White is shitting all over you, right? So you have two great fights with Robert Whitaker, and then you come out and for 2 minutes not even move, like approach it like a joke. I was like, after that I was like, oh bro, this fight is fucking like the fight sucked from then on.
Yeah, it did.
I had a 4-1 because Romero. The thing is, if you like, I'll give you this, like those two punches in the first round, Romero should have kept doing that. You know what I mean? But he didn't. Like, and yet, credit to Izzy, like staying on the outside and all. But you got to chase the fight. But there were also two counter punches, right? The reason why Izzy destroyed Robert Whitaker was counter punches, right? He sees you, takes a little. He's a lot like Connor and against Eddie Alvarez, where he's gonna take a couple shots, but he's gonna be right outside of your hits, and he's gonna not. You know what I mean? He's gonna hit you with a crazy counter. It was a terrible fight to watch, and I had a 4-1. Like I didn't even have it that close because Romero didn't do anything. And then like the most he did was like at the end of the fight when he tried to like chase him down and scream in his face and then talk for 45 minutes with Joe Rogan, saying that's not fighting. I was like, bro, but you had a hand in that fight though.
Absolutely.
Like if the fight sucked, Adesanya took credit. Was like, yeah, the fight wasn't great, but I did what I had to do. That's real. For Yoel Romero after the fight to be like, oh, see, that's not fighting. He's a coward. He ran. I was like, bro, but you didn't chase him though. You stood there. You know what I mean? You gotta take his belt, bro. Like he's not gonna hand it to you. He's not gonna be like, here, Mr. Romero, sir, take my title, just knock me out. You gotta get it, bro. You have to get it. As a challenger, you gotta come in there like you have to come in there like fucking like George Masvidal against the wrestler guy that I can't remember the name of. That he got. Yeah, Ben Askren. You gotta come in there and kill, bro. You gotta come in. You're never gonna get these opportunities again. The fact that he's gotten 3 title shots is more than most fighters who are more deserving have gotten.
No, you're right. But the thing is,
so I thought
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's 3 title shots, but Izzy's not getting enough shit. By the way, because we talk all this crap about John Jones
absolutely.
And his fights aren't exciting. Adesanya, all the crap that he was talking that he was gonna knock this dude out. That's why he wanted to fight him, to prove that he could punch with him, because it wasn't a wrestling. I think he wanted to fight because Romero's explosive. And he did nothing. And Adesanya was, I don't even, what's a game plan? You got a 6.5-inch reach, and you're not using it to do anything. And I think that tone was set when he felt Romero punch him in the first round a couple times. He didn't want anything to do with that. I think
give you that.
Romero has the blame because as a challenger, when you see that, you have to go out and take it. But that dude as a champion, that was
Yeah,
disgusting. That was disappointing. I want to strip the belt from that dude. Like Dana White should
it
be like,
was.
"Dude, you don't even deserve to defend this belt."
I wouldn't.
That was
No, no, no.
terrible.
First, I wouldn't give you. Do you remember? This fight was bad, but it's fucking dog, bro. Do you remember Stephen Thompson
Yeah,
versus Tyron Woodley?
yeah,
That fight was bad. That's the worst fight I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
Easily, that fight had 3 punches. It was Tyron Woodley
Tyron
just
Woodley's known for
circling the
doing that.
cage the
Yeah,
whole time away
yeah.
from
You're
Stephen
right.
Thompson. You know what I mean? That was a terrible fight. This is Israel Adesanya's first bad fight ever. Like I've seen most of his fights, and this fight against Douglas Costa that's probably going to be coming up in I want to say August because I don't think Izzy took any damage, so he'll probably fight again. That fight's going to be different because Costa's going to be coming at him. Now, can the second best body in MMA probably fucking murder him? Maybe, but Izzy has a chin, bro. Like Izzy had those 2 punches knock that Romero caught him with knocks out
Oh yeah,
most
yeah,
people,
yeah. He caught him clean. Yeah,
and it didn't knock him. You know. All right,
yeah.
is that
That's
enough
too
time
much
on that?
time.
How
That's
much
too
time did we
much time
spend
on
on that?
that.
Because that was more.
Yeah.
That's one. All right, man.
Let's
Let's
go to the real
let's
fight.
let's get to it.
Huh? And
Zhang
Megamind.
Weili,
I mean,
Joanna.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Is that real quick? Let me ask. Is that considered bullying if you start making fun of her for it? Because I feel bad. I feel
Yeah,
bad for her after, right? When like she was covering it up, and then like I saw the Ariel Hawani posted a picture of her like
yeah,
she's like with her head
yeah,
down,
yeah.
with a hoodie on, like her head all wrapped up. I've never
She's a beast, man.
ever seen anything
She
like that.
is a
I've never seen any. That is the greatest women's fight I've ever seen. Probably the greatest women's fight we'll ever see. I'm gonna watch it again here after we get off this podcast.
That shows you how much power
Wow,
Zhang
though.
Wei Li has, though. She is a truck. I
Yeah.
mean, damn.
Yes,
Because Joanna was giving her everything she had,
dude.
and her face was busted up too. It was raw and red, but I mean, she completely reconfigured her face, moved her nose to one side. She had that big
Yeah.
hematoma on her forehead, and Joanna, dude, she just kept coming though. Her too. She wasn't quitting.
No, she didn't quit. How did you? So before we get into it, how did you score that fight? I thought I'll tell you. Go ahead. I'll jump in with mine after.
Well, I mean, we were messaging back and forth, right? And I had it. It could have gone either way, right?
Right.
Remember, I told you it could be easy. It could easily be 4-0 one way or 2-2.
Yeah.
And I think they had it was a split decision, right? It was like 3-2. Another judge had it 3-2 for Joanna, and then the other judge had it for
And then 3-2.
And
Whaley.
I had it. I had it. It was close. 3-2 Joanna, but I mean, it could have gone either. You can't be disappointed with that. I would have had it as a draw
I had
because
it.
no one deserved to lose that fight.
Yeah, I had it. I would have it as a draw, and have them run it back. Like, but I told when we were talking during the fight. Like Joanna did a lot, but Whaley was right there, right? Like Joanna didn't stop. Whaley would take like 15, 20 seconds off and catch a couple shots,
Yeah.
but then she'd come back. But when you see and I told you during the fight, I was like, yes, you could give it to Joanna until you see Joanna's face,
Yeah.
right? Like that's if we're judges, right, and we're watching a fight, like, oh man, these people are really hitting each other, but one person's face is completely and utterly reconstructed because of punches. That person can't win the fight, right? Like, to me personally, like, you can't have one. I've seen fights where like a busted up face and that person loses because they might get caught in a choke or whatever. But dude, there is no way possible Whaley lost that fight. Like I had it 3-2. I had it 3-2. You know what I mean? But I've never seen a fight where people were they just stood in the pocket and punched each other in the face
Although, look, for all the
and kicked each other in the head.
yeah, for all the power that Wei Lee has, I think she caught Joanna, like, kind of really wobbled her once, where Joanna immediately hugged, right, and she went into the clinch. And Joanna had
Yeah.
Wei Lee a couple times, and she didn't really take advantage of it. I mean, she's, you probably don't see it, especially as tired as she is, and the amount of volume they've thrown. As a spectator, you see it, and she did. There was a couple times where Wei Lee's like knees buckled a little bit, and she didn't continue with the pressure. But,
Yep.
I mean, what can you say?
What were the total
I
strikes,
don't
bro?
know.
Like over over 800, right? Like it had to be because they did not stop punching
No,
and
they
kicking
didn't.
for 5 minutes. That was absolutely incredible, bro. My God, was that fight amazing? Yeah, look it up. But yeah, dude, like I had it again. I had it 3-2 ish, right on either side. I would have been good with either person winning. I would have been the draw. But once you see Joanna's face, that's what tipped it over for me. Like Joanna's face was hurt, dude. I've never all the fights I've seen, bro. All the head kicks, punches, elbows, everything I've seen. I've never seen anybody's head do that off of a punch. Head kick.
Yeah.
Right? When you catch a chin to your forehead. I get that. A punch, bro. A punch swelled her face up, her forehead up to a different level.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. It was, and it just kept getting worse. Like at first, I was like, "Whoa, that's there's a bubble on her forehead," and then it just ballooned up. It was crazy.
It kept getting worse and worse, and then she got her nose busted in the fourth. Like Whaley looked like she was in a fight, but it was just a little red. You know what I mean? I didn't see any swelling because she was on Ariel show today. I didn't see much swelling today. 2 days later, she looked all right. Joanna isn't all right, bro. Joanna's not all right, and I don't know if she gets. I don't know how she gets another chance. That's 3 title shots too. Two against
Rose, yeah.
Rose that she lost. Yeah, and then one against Whaley. And I don't know who the fuck beats Whaley, bro.
But she wasn't like
who beat.
I don't know. I don't know who beats Whaley.
No, because who could take the punches? Who could take the punches that Joanna took?
Take those punches, man. That's
yeah. I don't. Yeah, it's not even close, bro. That shit is crazy. Then the fight before that was pretty good too, though. The Drakkar Close and Benil Dariush. You had Drakkar Close being cocky
time for that knockout. Yeah.
When the guy's mouthpiece is like halfway out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That fight was crazy. Guy got cocky and he left himself open and just got rocked. Fight was good though. It was a good card, man. It was a really good card, except for the main event.
That's got to be one of the worst fights I've ever seen, man. That's
no, that's number 3 for me. Maybe like because I don't want to be like in the moment guy. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Damian Maia, Anderson Silva is still the fight I've ever seen in my life. A lot of Anderson Silva fights were terrible, bro. Like we forget that. Like the name Mark Quart fights is pretty bad.
Anderson Silva fights were
the Damian Maia was terrible. I think the first time he fought the same guy that John Jones just fought when he was 185. Silva, but his name was something different. He had changed his name. That fight was really bad. A lot of the Silva fights were really bad because people didn't want to take the risk. I put a lot of Silva fights over that, and the time Willie Steven Wonderboy fight was bad. Yeah. Both of them. So I put this one like 6th or 7th on my all-time worst list.
So
also because I didn't like Romero's attitude after the fight.
He was saying you know people wanted to fight.
I didn't like him. Yeah, like, hey, bro, but then fight. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen you do it.
Yo, so look at this.
I've seen you fight.
It was a total of, look at these crazy-ass numbers, all right? Significant strikes thrown, 408 by Weili Zhang, or Zhang Weili, right? Total strikes, 413. So out of 413, 408 were significant strikes because they were just swinging for the fences. Same thing with Joanna.
No defense in that fight.
360 were significant out of the 370 total. So almost 800 punches thrown between the both of them. I mean,
yeah, 800, almost 800 significant strikes. Because there was like,
that's nuts. That is insane.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. Like I don't think we'll ever see it because most fights you don't see that many punches land and nobody gets knocked out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You don't get that kind of. Maybe you could get that one like the Robbie Lawler, the Canadian guy, bro, where like they're just standing there punching each other in the face. Rory
is it
McDonald,
McDonald? Yeah, that dude
right?
was a
Like,
yeah.
yeah, Rory, yeah. So like that fight, you got that one. But dude, that fight was fucking bananas, man. Now, Jonathan, we could spend the next 87 minutes talking about the fucking fight we've been talking about the last 3 months. Tony fucking Ferguson, Khabib. I know there's like 3 fights before that because every weekend until then,
Yeah,
there's fights. Cool.
yeah.
Don't give a fuck. Don't care. Cool, Kevin Lee. You're fighting somebody next, Charles Oliveira. We'll maybe cover it Wednesday. But it's also my birthday, so we'll see. But dude, there's the hype I have for this fight and watching the press. Did you see the
No,
press
I missed
conference?
it. What happened at press conference?
Like, no, you got to watch clips of it. You have Khabib. Khabib. I'm not gonna try to say his last name. It's too many syllables. You have Khabib, right?
Uh-huh.
That barely speaks English, and then you have Tony Ferguson, who has a mental decline
Yeah,
because of
for
all the
sure.
brain trauma that don't make any sense, but they're just screaming at each other. And for some reason, Tony Ferguson is wearing like blue and white gloves, but they're like
Okay.
wraps with like an all black suit, wearing the sunglasses indoors. Oh, like this is such a glorious shit show. Like Khabib took it personal that like when Tony said, "Man, I want to make this into a street fight." Khabib goes, "You don't street fight. This is America. You're not allowed to street fight." Like he took that personal. Like that's where he just got mad at us. Like I'm from Dagestan, where we really street fight. I was like, bro, go to World Star Hip Hop right now, son. Like, what are you talking
Oh
about? We
man,
don't street fight. It was so fucking crazy,
I'm gonna
bro.
have to catch clips of it later.
I have no idea who. Like, let's do a very early take on that fight because we recap what is it 248. Now let's talk about 249. Please, guys, don't get hurt. Don't trip over
Yeah.
anything. Please make weights. Please, this is the fifth or sixth time we're trying to make this. Let's make some. Don't fuck this up. How do you see Khabib losing?
Dude,
Do you see
but
Khabib
before
losing?
we get to that fight, Jessica Andrade fights Rose Namajunas. That's the co-main event.
Yeah,
No,
that's not
no.
gonna take it, though. No way is that gonna be no. Khabib Tony is gonna be a way better fight than any fight. Bro, I swear to God, if they just stand there, I'll lose my fucking mind.
If they just said
I
there,
would
these
lose
these
my
two
mind.
these two women
Who
are
else is on that
probably
card?
gonna make up for it if that's what they end up doing because these are two badass motherfuckers too. So
Yeah, yeah. These are the two and these are the third and
yep.
fourth best women out there, bro. At 115.
I think
All right, man. What you got?
all right. I think Tony takes it. I'm they're, like
Really? Like for real, for
what
real.
else can you say? Like it's just tough. How do you bet against Khabib? But Tony Ferguson is if there's anyone that's gonna beat this dude, it's gonna be Tony Ferguson right now where he's at in his career because he's not on a decline, and this is a fight that people have
Yeah.
been wanting to see for a while now. I think Tony takes it. The pressure that he brings, the like he's just so awkward. The way that he's able to react when he gets when he gets rocked or when he gets wobbled a little bit. Uh, and Khabib, I don't know if he's fought anyone that has the skills on the ground that Tony Ferguson does. So that's gonna be when it goes to the ground. That's gonna be interesting to see because Khabib is gonna do what he likes to do, use his legs to lock up your legs and just put his weight on you and on your upper body and kind of force the force you to hold up his weight. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think that Tony Ferguson is going to take it. If they stay if they stay standing up, I think Tony Ferguson takes it. He's just a better striker than Khabib is. I think we got somebody back.
God damn, I don't know what happened there, bro. How bad, people? Did you just talk?
Um, yeah,
Did you,
yeah. I just said let me bring you back in, um, for a quick second. All right. Yeah, you're back.
what the fuck is up with his pause? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
man.
was just kind of going over the card for 249. Jessica Andrade and Namajunas, because I was just kind of recalling that time, the last time they fought, and it was Jessica who body slammed Rose, and I wasn't,
On her head.
yeah, on her head, and the fact that
Yep.
she's even fighting right now, because a lot of people were worried that was a that was a nasty slam. I've never seen something like that happen. The only time I've seen anything like that is like the days of the WWE when you watch all these, pile
The
drivers, all this
botched.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff going on. So, but yeah, I'd like to see how she reacts because she's known as a Thug Rose, right? She was the one that brought it to Joanna, and she beat her twice in a row, and
Yeah.
then to lose to Jessica Andrade that way, it's kind of, I mean, it's scary, and it's gotta mess with your it's gotta mess
Yeah, dude.
with
She
you
hasn't fought
psychologically.
since then.
Yeah, she hasn't. I thought she was retiring. I thought I heard
Yeah, I
she
thought she
wasn't
was.
gonna fight again.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be over, man. I didn't think she was gonna fight after that because she talked. You know what I mean? All withdrawn from it.
Yep.
I don't know. That was kind of weird. I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened there with my laptop. That was really weird. I might have to get another one.
You may have to. But so we were saying I think you we left off with you asked me about Tony or what I thought was gonna happen. Tony or
Yeah.
who takes it.
Yeah.
And I think Tony takes it. I think it's going to be if you look at strength for strength, standing up, striking, I don't think
Tony.
that's no contest. Tony. On the ground,
Yep.
Khabib has that style, and I was talking about it earlier, but I was talking to a ghost because you weren't there. On the ground, Khabib likes to lock up your legs with
Yeah.
his legs and then just lean all his weight on your upper body so your arms support his weight.
And,
But Tony's a beast on
yep.
the ground too. Like Khabib has never fought
Yes.
anyone like that that has that kind of
No.
jiu-jitsu and that kind of he's just constantly moving. Khabib wants to lay on you and use that leverage, but Tony's constantly looking for an opening, looking for a submission, trying one thing, setting you up for another, and it's very different to what he faced McGregor. McGregor was just kind of trying to outmuscle, power his way
Yep.
back to standing up as opposed to trying to do something on the ground, and so that's where
Having the
Tony's
technique
dangerous.
to get up.
What's that?
Yeah. He does. Conor McGregor doesn't have the technique on the ground to be able to get up without, you know what I mean? Because Tony can get up, I think, more effortlessly because of his technique and because he knows what he's doing down
Right.
there. I got, I have, I got Tony too, man. Like, I guess, and it's not because I'm a McGregor fan, because I think Tony beats the shit out of McGregor too.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being completely honest, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like it's probably worse than what happens to him against Khabib.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be vicious because I don't think Tony has a soul in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the octagon.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares. Like, he really does become a nightmare because you can see, like, he becomes a different person.
Mm-hmm.
So I got him just because I think he answers all the questions that Khabib is gonna ask. You know what I mean? Like, if you're like Dustin Poirier had that choke in on Khabib.
Deep.
That choke, that choke, that choke against long arm spider fucking El Kukui Ferguson is gonna be way deeper and tighter.
Yeah.
He's gonna snatch your soul out your body, bro. Dustin Poirier is a solid fighter, but he's Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, he's a good fighter. He'll have his runs. Might get the title, might not. You know what I mean? He'll be in the bubble of that space, but he's not the upper
No,
echelon.
he's not.
He's not. You know what I mean? It's at 155. Like my all timers at 155 is Khabib, Tony, right? I'll put Conor up there, like, as far as performances. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even put Nate Diaz in those moments because he's like how uninterested and just like his attitude of it. I thought he always could have been way better than he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he feels like he's entitled to having to win more than he should. I don't know. It's weird. But I put those two, and then Dustin Poirier with like the Justin Gaethje's. You know what I mean? In this modern era,
Yeah.
right? Like the Justin Gaethje's and like that tier of fighter. But Tony Ferguson is just, listen, man. I'll say this, and I like both fighters, right? If Khabib beats Tony Ferguson, it's unquestionable who the greatest 155er,
Of all time?
maybe the best fighter of all time is.
Yeah.
Like I put him as my Tony Ferguson. There's no fighter I'm trying to like equate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the greatest champions we've ever seen, like the John Joneses, the Demetrius Johnsons, the George St. Pierre's. They've never fought somebody who can really give them a threat and really push them in a way that nobody like Gustafsson with John Jones, the first one was but Gustafsson wasn't like a known commodity, right? He was just like some tall Swedish dude,
Right.
That can you know what I mean? That can kind of fight. Like we know what Tony Ferguson can do. Like there isn't that guy in any other division to challenge a long-standing, dominant GOAT champion. You know what I mean? Tony Ferguson is that. Nobody else has that threat in their division. Like there's nobody in the 205. There's nobody in the 170s. I mean, no, not really. Like George Masvidal's having a good run,
Right.
but that can just, you know what I mean. But I put him in that Dustin Poirier vein. You know what I mean? Like he might have that moment, but that moment, like I even put Kamaru Usman in that. And like he just happens to be champion, but like I don't put him as a GOAT. You know what I mean? He's like an outworker. He's gonna outwork you. He'll outpush. You know what I mean? Like, but there's not one dominant thing that he does to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no Khabib in any other division, and there's no Tony Ferguson in any other division. You know what I mean? Like, there's no upper echelon fighters that are like 2 or 3 deep where they're like, yo, this shit can get crazy.
Right.
That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? As a fan, like who the fuck? I don't know the technique, but I'm just saying, like, I don't see anybody who's that level of a threat for anybody else, and vice versa.
Yeah, no, man, I don't.
If Khabib smashes them, though,
I don't see it. If Khabib completely smashes him, then, and that's possible, right? Because Tony takes risks. That's what
absolutely.
He gets hit, and then he rolls out and tries to recover that way. So if he takes a risk and he gets caught, and Khabib pounces on him with that pressure on the ground, Tony's technique might not be enough to save him because he's trying to recover.
Yeah.
At that point, it might be over. Who knows? But
I think Tony can. I don't think Khabib is a real threat on the standing up. I think Tony can take more risks, but I also think this fight is going to be like one that's decided on the ground because Khabib's going to take Tony Ferguson down, right? Like we know that.
He's trying to do.
Like that's a given. Like we're not like, oh my god, he might keep no. He's taking him down. This fight's gonna be decided on the ground. Like Khabib's only gonna stand up in the first 15 to 20 seconds of each round because that's how the fight starts. He knows he works to his strengths better than anybody since George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
But even George St. Pierre developed a stand up later on. There's no stand up really with Khabib. Khabib's an overhand right. Probably doesn't even know how to jab. He's gonna take you down, weigh you down like the gorilla bear that he is, and smash. That's it. That's the game plan. I mean, we'll see. But dude, we're less than 30. April 18th is the fight, I think. So that we're 34 days away.
April 18th. Yep.
I'm 39. 39 days away. So just I hope they don't get hurt. I hope everybody's good. Because I can't stand to watch this fight not happen again, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if they try to make it.
It'll be like the 6th time.
After that, it's too many times.
It's too many. Simply too many, bro. Dude, but that fight was so boring, man. That fight, I said that fight was more boring than the co-main event was exciting. Does that make sense?
They were on the opposite
that fight
ends
was
of the
so
spectrum.
bad.
It was as bad as the co-main was exciting. That's and even if you could go farther, because it was rough. Look, this is how bad it was. Mel doesn't like watching people get punched in the face or punch each other in the face.
Right.
And she was able to just sit through it and watch. That's how little action was going on. No one was getting punched. Nothing was happening. That she was just like, okay, I can sit through this. That's how bad the fight was. That was my gauge.
That's pretty bad, bro. Dude, I told you last week I started prepping my dog's food.
Yeah, how's that?
I've never seen him eat so fast in my life, bro. Like you'd have thought I was starving him before when I was giving him the kibble.
I've been missing out on this shit this whole time.
I'll go. Hey man, what the fuck you been feeding me? I take him like I have my because I have two
Yeah.
fridges, right? So I have all like the Tupperware stuff. So I go over there. He runs over there, sits down. Then I have the bowl in his
Mm-hmm.
water in the living room, and he'll run to the bowl and then like give it like he'll sit down and wait for me to pour it into his
Mm-hmm.
bowl, and it'll just be gone, bro. Like it'll be like in seconds. So it's like rice. It's brown
Okay.
rice, ground beef, mixed vegetables, and like 10 eggs are all like we did it last time. Like the way I did it last time was I made them into balls,
Mm-hmm.
like into meatballs. It's too fatty because all the ground
Yeah.
beef. So this time we cooked the ground beef individually. We made it more like a
Right.
remolido.
So
You know
you
what I mean?
drained
Like
the
we
grease and
chopped
all
up the
that
ground
stuff.
beef. Exactly. So we just did it like tacos basically, right? Like I just do the taco
Mm-hmm.
meat, did that, and then just mixed it. And it's like it made two Tupperwares, two huge Tupperwares of food, and he only eats twice a day. So I'm gonna have food for him for like 2 weeks.
Is it more expensive than buying him the kibble?
I I, I haven't. So the kibble we bought him was what the brand was
Uh
Wildology,
huh.
right? And it's like $49 for 50 pounds, right? And it lasts probably about a month, maybe a little bit long, probably like six
Mm-hmm.
weeks. The ground beef is like $6. Mixed vegetables, like it's a lot less. I just want to see like because it's the second week of me doing it. I want to see how much longer the food lasts now that it's like, it just looks like like a big Tupperware of arroz con pollo,
Yeah.
right? But it's like it's just a mix. Because I don't eat brown rice. I hate brown rice. I like jasmine rice. So I'm never gonna eat that shit. So I literally just buy this stuff for him. I hate brown rice. Hate it, bro. I think it has terrible. It's so weird. It's like it's rice, but it has zero consistency of
Yeah.
rice. Like just don't like it. I don't like it at all, bro. It's white rice all day. So white time. White rice matters.
It's terrible. Okay.
That is pretty bad. I got a little. Is that you can't be? Is that racist? Would that make me? Would
Yeah.
that, would that make me racist?
These are terrible puns. I can't believe it's you the one saying them and not me, which is it's I feel better about
I know
myself.
you're you would have the dad jokes. You would have the dad jokes for sure,
Racist.
dude.
Wow.
Let's touch on this real quick before we cap
Yeah.
it off. This coronavirus shit, bro. Like, so like today, and this is a legit question, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to be a dick or like the shit I asked on Facebook. How is it? Like, I understand how it affects the market, but like, because I don't understand like Wall Street and stocks and
Yeah.
stuff. I don't invest, so a lot of it. So it was explained to me today that by one of my
Mm-hmm.
doctors that it's based stocks are based on speculation, like
Right.
how good it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
do. So there's like no physical proof. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Of like how that shit works. I was like, so it's basically stocks in the market are all based on a hypothesis, and yeah, like yeah, basically. I was like, dude, like, and then I didn't realize this shit. Like a lot of the food that we get is like brought in from like Cisco, the company
Yeah.
SYSCO. That
Yeah.
like yeah, dude, they're having less and less shipments now from different countries, right? Because they can't export stuff out. So they said, listen, man, we only have so much of a food bank.
Mm-hmm.
Like they supply a lot of food. Like that's a lot of different companies and corporations that I hadn't even like thought about that shit. I was like, oh fuck, like this shit can get crazy real quick.
Yeah.
And also, dude, all the Facebook medical doctors is very annoying, bro.
Listen, first they the first confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ohio happened in the county that I live in. I found out like 3 4 hours ago. Uh, three confirmed
Awesome,
cases,
awesome.
and
That's good.
there are
That's good.
three people that are between 54 and 56 years old, and two are a couple that were on a cruise on the Nile
Mm,
River, and then the other one was a guy
mm,
who was at some conference in Washington D.C. Um, so three of them, they're being treated. They're being monitored, whatever. Not within the city, outside of the city, but still in the same county that I'm in. So it's here. Now going to the medical, the Facebook doctors,
right.
the Facebook PhDs, right? Where I think I mentioned it to you, or maybe I
Yep.
mentioned it to Mel. Someone that I know posted something that said the flu has had I don't know how many millions or billions, some meme, right? Millions or billions of
Yes.
flu
Yep.
cases and
Yep.
killed this many thousands of people. The coronavirus has only, and then they gave the stats.
Yeah.
and it's been around
Yep.
just as long or whatever. But it's not coronavirus, right? It's this new novel, this COVID-19, and in a short period of time, it's exploded.
Right.
And I believe I just had the stats up on my phone, and I kind of swiped, but it's over 3,800 people that have died out of
Yep.
just over 100,000 cases. So you're looking at almost a 4%
Yes.
like fatality rate. That's
Yeah.
that's that's
So
pretty
was that
high.
that almost
And you know what I mean?
that's very high. And the mortality rate for the flu is 0.1%.
Right.
Now, John, I'm not a method. So how much higher of a percentage is that if it goes from 0.1% to damn near
Well,
4? What is that, like 400? Is that a 400% increase? Like, what is it? Because it's 0.1 to
it's a lot.
4%. Like, it's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. Like, dude, it's so many. Like, listen,
And I was looking at the stats for
I
the
don't want.
U.S.
I know.
236
Yeah.
confirmed cases in the U.S., 14 deaths. That's almost 6% mortality rate.
Also, it's higher.
And now,
Oh, that's
and
good.
obviously, it's
Oh, that's good.
very it's a small number. It's a small number worldwide, over 100,000 people, because it's something that
Yeah.
just but it's spreading, and there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's killing 3% of the people that regardless of whether it's attacking people that have compromised immune systems, so younger people or older people. Like it's
Yep.
killing people. A 65-year-old person doesn't die from the flu like a normal person, but a regular 65-year-old person is dying from this
Yeah.
shit. It's a little bit more serious than just wash your
Yeah.
hands for 30 seconds and stop overreacting. They're canceling conferences
Yeah.
like South by Southwest. They're canceling stuff in Chicago. Yeah, yeah, that's that. We should be playing that
Yeah.
Vietnam uh, coronavirus health.
Soundtrack. Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's 100% more serious
Yeah.
than that shit. Like that company I just told you about,
Hmm.
Cisco, they have their I think their home office or whatever is based out of Orlando. So they were having 40,000 people because they have 40,000 employees fly in, right? They canceled that shit. That show was supposed to be this week. They canceled it last week. Nobody canceled shit because of the flu.
No.
I've never heard of
No.
it. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, oh, a couple people. Nobody canceled it because of
No, I mean I
bronchitis.
cancel work because of the
No,
flu. I
like
just don't go. But they don't just say nobody
exactly.
show
You
up
know
to
what I
the
mean? Like
office.
it's exactly. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? The Facebook doc. Like I've had people from sharing like Dr. Drew that isn't an actual doctor. I think he's like a therapist. You know what I mean? Like Dr. Drew
Yeah,
quotes
yeah.
or like just different stuff. Like the flu stuff was like, hey guys, like this is like the George Orwell is real, bro. 1984 is real as fuck. The amount of misinformation and disinformation that is happening, it is insane, bro. And the Facebook doctors annoy me because I'm not reacting to
Yeah.
it, right? Like I'm just seeing like I'm getting texts now because I have an alert for the county that I live in and the county I used to
Hmm.
live in. That go to my phone. There's 3 more confirmed cases within the last 24 hours, and they said matter of fact, let me read, and then we'll cut it
Yeah.
off in the next like 2 3 minutes. But like it says, I'll tell you right now. It says update 12. My bad. 12 positive resident cases in Hillsborough County. 2 travel-related cases in Hillsborough. 5 Florida cases repatriated and 1 non-Florida resident. And then again, it goes with the 20 seconds. Wash your hands.
Yeah, but I
Hey,
don't know.
bro.
But you know what?
And I learned
Go
this,
ahead.
and I learned this today. The reason why you have to wash your hands is because it's a droplet, right? That could live on whatever area for
For nine
9
days. Yep.
days. What the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about here? The flu doesn't do that, man. The flu doesn't do that. Like, what?
No, no. And you know what though? This isn't just. I was gonna say something. I was trying to look at the statistics. It's not just Trump supporters parroting the same thing. It's people on both sides. It's just there's just
Nope.
stupid people everywhere.
Yes.
I get it that
Stupid
this
people
thing
everywhere.
just kind of came out of nowhere in November, and when but don't write it off as saying
Yep.
only killed this many people, only done this, only. That's like yes, it just. How about you look at it from a different lens? More of like a data scientist would look at it. Since November, it's already exploded and
Killed.
had this
It's
many.
killed.
Yeah, and it's killed 3%, three point four
Yeah.
percent of the people that contracted it.
Dude,
That's great. That's ridiculous.
dude. It again, it shut down an entire country in Italy. Italy is not playing games. They're not playing soccer games for the rest of the year. They're, they suspended all sports. They've quarantined everybody. They don't do that when it's just the flu, bro.
You know the U.S. though, right?
When it's just a little bit
we got
of
all that money. Like they're thinking about playing NCAA, like March Madness and the playoff NBA games, and depending on how
of
bad it
course,
goes, how long they keep this up. But playing regular NBA games with no fans, but still playing the games, and then playing March Madness, still having the tournament with no fans, because there's too much money in advertising. Still, they're like, no,
yeah,
no, you guys are still going
yeah,
to do this. You guys are still gonna play the games. We still got to get paid. We just won't have any fans in the arenas to watch.
yeah. You saw what LeBron said. LeBron said that if there's no fans in the stadium, he's not gonna in the arena. He's not gonna play because he like got caught off guard, which is unfair. But dude, let's Facebook doctors shut that shit
Yeah.
down, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. You did a couple WebMD searches, and you're pointing out unnecessary, like unnecessary stats that don't go to this. Like you can't bring up, I can't bring up cancer in relation to fucking coronavirus. I can't bring up bronchitis in relation to coronavirus. I can't bring up sinus infections in relation to corona. So don't bring up the flu. It's completely different. It's completely different. It kills at a four. Like think about that shit. It's killed 30. It's killed 4,000 people in 4 months. That's 1,000 people a month. That's a shit ton of people. And the way people are being lax about it and saying that it's a media hoax and all this shit. What are you talking about, bro? So the entire world got together and decided, hey, let's fuck with people on Facebook and let's just make this up. Sit down for a second, bro. I had people today telling me that dude that I work with telling me that the guy who owns Purell is a huge Illuminati, and this is all a master plan of the New World Order.
Oh my god.
I'm out, bro. Like
Well, yeah,
I'm
what do you
out.
say to
I'm
that?
done. Like that was it. That's all. Yeah, like I'm out. I'm good. Like salute to that. I didn't even say that. I was like, yeah, bro, that's crazy, and I just moved on. Like, what do you respond?
Look,
Fucking
that's like
idiot.
me. That's like me saying, well, we've been at war in Iraq and Afghanistan for over 17 years now, and we've only had just over 8,000
Yeah,
deaths. That's it. Like you're just writing it off.
yeah, that's it.
I mean, this thing has killed
Yeah,
4,000 people,
yeah,
almost, or maybe more, depending, because the numbers keep getting
in
updated
4 months.
4 months. I think it's something. I think
Yeah,
it's a little bit more serious than just wash your hands and don't
yes.
touch your like. But there are real scientists, right?
Don't
There's the
don't
CDC
touch
and
your
the
face.
WHO and everyone looking into this thing. So there are real
Yeah,
scientists, thankfully, not just Facebook PhDs. So we'll see. I mean, you do what you can, like follow those simple things, just cleanliness and things that you would
yeah.
do normally.
Are you guys? We'll talk about the rest of the conversation
Yeah.
offline because I got a couple more questions I got to ask you. But let's just end in here. Facebook PhDs, Facebook doctors, you're not a real doctor, bro. Stop regurgitating and repeating shit that you really don't know nothing about. Every day it gets updated with different information and different shit. It's not a me. The entire world doesn't organize to put one party over the other in the United States like some people are thinking. Get the fuck over that, bro. This shit is real, man. I don't know when people are gonna take it real. Like when somebody they know gets it, you know what I mean? Which if it's us, like we'll be good because it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like it's usually like older people,
Right.
but you got to catch it in time because you might think you have the flu. You got to stay. Like if you feel any kind of flu, go get checked out, bro. Don't be fuck. I'm gonna fight this off. No, no, no. Take your ass to the ER, bro. Don't take any risks because your life is not worth your ego. Simple
That's
as
it.
that. Little PSA for the podcast. Let's cut that bitch
All
right
right.
there. Dumbass Facebook doctors.